We are now 1 year removed from SummerSlam 2019. It's hard to believe it's been that long, but the fact of the matter is we had a year of wrestling since then, so I guess I'm going to go back to review it for a bit of content. You guys should enjoy this. I'm going to try and keep the review fairly quick. I'm over and done with the days of doing 30 to 60 minute pay-per-view reviews and going over move by move. No one cares to hear that. So in this video, I'm going to do this SummerSlam 2019 review in the same style I do my current pay-per-view reviews and all my other reviews. So around 8 to 10 minutes, straight to the point, and yeah, you guys should enjoy it. So that's SummerSlam 2019 and what we'll be doing. As for the show itself, this show, it was a bit of a weird one because for one, it's SummerSlam, so it's the second biggest pay-per-view of the year, but the show was missing Roman Reigns, it was missing Cena, Daniel Bryan, there's like a couple of others who I'm forgetting off the top of my head. Like, it's missing a bunch of guys who are like centerpieces of WWE television, which was a bit weird. Like, you give all the TV time to these people and they're not even on the show, so that was a bit bizarre. But the show itself, it was good. Like, was it one of the all-time great SummerSlams? Like, was it a 2002, a 2013, one of those type of shows? No, but on the whole, if you watch this show start to finish, you're not going to be hating your life by the end of it. I mean, you're going to probably have been entertained because there's lots of stuff to talk about in this show. So the main thing, or the few main things to talk about: Seth Rollins winning the Universal Championship, The Fiend making his first ever entrance, that was insane, and then Edge, coming back and doing a spear on Elias, Goldberg destroying Ziggler, and that was about it, really. So, yeah, this main event match, Lesnar-Rollins, pleasantly surprising, because if we remember back to a year ago, Seth Rollins, him as a babyface champion was an absolute just train wreck. Seth Rollins was coming out on social media, it felt like every other day, and making some mindless, brain-dead take and pissing off even more people. So Rollins was hated beyond belief as a babyface. Fans were turning against him. Lesnar cashed in on him at Extreme Rules, so Rollins had to chase Lesnar. They did the whole angle where Lesnar assaulted Rollins, and they did the whole thing with that. So Rollins was nursing injuries and nursing the ribs and whatnot. Lesnar was beating him up. In the end, Rollins hit a few curb stomps, beat Brock Lesnar. So we got a bunch of visuals of Seth Rollins holding the Universal Championship up, his second Universal Championship, I believe. I think it was I'm pretty sure this was his second title reign. So, yeah, Seth Rollins holding up the Universal Championship. It made for some good visuals. It was a good talking point for SummerSlam. The main event match with Lesnar and Rollins was actually, pretty good. Was it some all-time great match? No, but was it entertaining? It was 10 to 11 minutes. It was fast-paced. The storytelling was really good. They didn't have, some 25-minute match for no reason. So, I enjoyed the main event with Rollins and Lesnar. That was good. And outside of the main event, which I thought was pretty damn good, the main event was pretty good. Outside of that, the other big talking point was The Fiend, okay? The Fiend, he made his first entrance at this show. Now, remembering back to last year, we first saw this, new Bray Wyatt character. We had the Bray Wyatt, in the Funhouse. I believe that debuted in, April or May. So, that Bray Wyatt we saw. And then The Fiend, I believe, attacked Balor a month before this. So the Fiend debuted on TV in July, and we hadn't seen a Fiend entrance just yet. So this is our first chance to do so, and the entrance was absolutely sick. This is the best thing on the show in my opinion. The Fiend making his entrance, it was so damn cool. The Fiend, obviously, since this moment, has he been ruined? I wouldn't say fully. The Goldberg thing didn't help him, and I've talked about that at length. The whole thing with having Bill Goldberg face Bray Wyatt, considering the styles of the two wrestlers, how the Fiend's thing was that he basically destroyed all of his opponents, and that's Goldberg's thing. So one of those guys is going to look terrible at the end of the match if you go with a clean finish, and it turned out to be Bray Wyatt. Has he recovered since? To an extent. The Funhouse match of Mania was really good for him. The other stuff they did where they had his different faces fighting Braun Strowman. So it's been what it's been, okay? It's been alright. So yeah, that's been the Fiend since then. But at the time, for SummerSlam 2019, this was so damn cool. Finn Balor, talk about him. Finn Balor, this was before he went to NXT and had his pretty much failure of a run in NXT. Finn Balor in NXT has been nothing special. So yeah, Balor got squashed. The Fiend made his debut in-ring action. There we go. The super sick entrance, really dominant performance, just super sick. So if you haven't seen anything from this show, I'd say go back to watch the entrance and like the squash match of Balor, because it's always fun to watch Finn Balor get squashed. So that was that. As for the WWE title, Kofi Kingston, Randy Orton, the storyline going into this, I remember actually being really interested in. Like, the storyline for this was the only thing I really cared about going into this show, because Randy Orton was doing his condescending, thing where he's calling Kofi stupid, and they're bringing back the stuff from 10 years ago, and Kofi trying to get retribution on Orton. The match itself was a bit of a letdown. Like, they end up having the no finish to keep the feud going into Clash of Champions, which was a bit disappointing. So, yeah, we end up having the messy finish where they get the kendo sticks and the countouts involved. It's just a mess. So Kofi retains. Nothing to really talk about there. This match, Charlotte and Trish Stratus, I thought this was actually, like, really good. I mean, as far as women's matches go, as far as pay-per-view, SummerSlam, WWE main roster women's matches, this is, like, one of the better ones they've done. And to think that Trish Stratus in 2019 was involved in such a great match, because Trish's thing was never great matches, but she put on a damn good match as Charlotte Flair here. It was really entertaining. It didn't outstay its welcome. Trish Stratus proved to be a better and more entertaining in-ring performer than most of the current roster. Alright, what Trish did in this match, she put on a damn good performance, damn good show, so yeah, she definitely did well in her farewell match. Hopefully this stays her farewell match, and if they, God forbid, do an Evolution 2, we don't get Trish Stratus being dragged out of retirement for that. So, yeah, this match is really good. Obviously, Charlotte Flair will get the win, because you're not going to have Charlotte Flair lose on pay-per-view, are you? Like, it's Charlotte Flair. So, Charlotte Flair beat Trish Stratus. I dare say this was match of the night. I mean, it's that or Rollins and Lesnar. It's a bit of a personal preference. I mean, I prefer Rollins and Lesnar but that match was really good as well. So, speaking of, fun matches, Goldberg destroying Ziggler. I had a heap of fun watching this. I loved it. Goldberg, apparently Ziggler came out, and then Goldberg literally just came into the ring, hit him with, 3 spears, was it? I'm pretty sure it was 3 spears. Yeah, like a couple of spears, pinned Ziggler. And that was that. So, Goldberg laid waste to Dolph Ziggler. Awesome to watch. Really quick, easy, painless. It's just Goldberg, a legit, credible, superstar pro wrestler against Ziggler, a mid-carder for life who never should have been world champion to begin with. So, that was good. Speaking of spears, we had Edge, come back for, a one-off appearance. In his 24 documentary, he talked about how this was so pivotal for him because this show was in Toronto, or in Canada. It was in Toronto, I'm pretty sure. So it was in his home, kind of country, and he knew the arena so well. So to have the big pop from the Canadian fans, to actually do a physical action, a spear to Elias, it was big for him on his road to a comeback, and really made him think that I can do this, I can come back. So that Edge spearing Elias thing was good. As for other stuff, I guess I'll talk about this whole Kevin Owens, Shane McMahon thing. I really didn't like this storyline. This whole storyline, I could see what they were going for with the whole, the Stone Cold Kevin Owens, having Kevin Owens rehash the whole, I'm going to fight the authority, I'm going to stand up for what's right, the basic kind of babyface heel pro wrestling, Shane being the authority figure McMahon. The match itself was just an absolute mess. The match was an absolute mess, it seriously was. Don't even bother going back to watch this, it's not worth it. The whole thing with Elias getting involved and Drew McIntyre's there and the referee, it's just garbage. I didn't like this at all, so that was that. The other stuff, Becky Lynch opened the show, defending the Raw Women's Championship against Natalya. This was a submission match. I bet none of you remember this because it's that forgettable. I had to literally, when I watched, skim watched this show back, I was like, wait, that match actually happened at SummerSlam? Really? It surprised me that this match even warranted SummerSlam, but yeah, obviously Becky retained. You weren't going to have Natalya win, but the match was in her home country, so guess she got the match anyway. And then another thing I just mentioned briefly, we had Ricochet and AJ Styles. It was a fine match. I didn't really care for it. I mean, look what Ricochet's wearing. It's just kind of cartoon-like. Ricochet diving around like he's a superhero. That's his whole thing. I don't really care. So that's SummerSlam. Overall, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. Goldberg destroying Ziggler was probably the highlight, alongside the Fiend's entrance. Rollins and Lesnar was actually a really good match. And outside of that, I'd say Trish and Charlotte was good. So that's been the video. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. What SummerSlams you want me to review? Leave it down below. Like, comment, sub, isn't a drill. See ya.